What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you enjoyed me forgetting to take my microphone off of mute. Again, our 2021 NFL draft coverage continues here at Blogging the Boys. It is time for our third round discussion. We will have three guests joining us this hour when the Dallas Cowboys make all three of their selections, all three of their scheduled selections, I should say. Obviously, we don't know if the Cowboys are going to trade up, if they get antsy, if they're going to trade back again. We have already seen a lot of different things so far in the draft tonight. Chris is here, wants us to know on the book, or on YouTube, Chris is watching. Christopher Lopez says, we're ready. 3 picks. Let's get crazy. Cameron, my mic was on mute. I know, Cameron, I'm feeling insecure about it. No need to attack me. It's all good. But in all seriousness, the Dallas Cowboys obviously we'll have 3 picks in this round. We're very excited about it to see what happens. Several moments ago, the Cowboys took Kelvin Joseph, the corner out of Kentucky. So what is going to happen in this third round? The Cowboys still have a needed safety. They still have a needed tackle. I don't think it would be a bad idea for them to address linebacker again. I don't think it would be a bad idea for them to address corner again. I mean, the Cowboys need a lot of help. Michael Daniels notes that we are 8 picks away. We are indeed. Very exciting times coming up for the Dallas Cowboys soon enough. I mentioned the Kelvin Joseph pick, and we had our second round live stream that we did. We hung out for almost 2 hours. We had great friends join us. Cole Patterson from Talking the Draft joined us. We talked about the pick in the immediate aftermath. Bobby Belt from NFL Network joined us. This hour, we're going to be joined by David Howman, by Dave Sturchio, and by Tony Catalina, all with their hands in the Blogging the Boys universe. Before we really dive into the third round, I do want to play the secret audio. The Dallas Cowboys shared this on their social channels. This is Kelvin Joseph getting the call from the Dallas Cowboys that he is now a member of America's team.
Hello?
Kelvin, this is Will McClay with the Cowboys. I got somebody who wants to talk to you, man.
Kelvin, Jerry Jones.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm just doing good. I hope you're feeling as good as we are and I am about it. You're now Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, we just turned you in, and we're glad to have you. And really have a big idea about where we're going to be going over the next few years. And I want you to be a part of it, and I want to get to be a part of it. And the guy that's going to lead the way for us is our coach, Mike McCarthy, and I'm going to hand you the phone. But congratulations.
Calvin, Mike McCarthy, congratulations.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? Thanks.
I'm doing well. Where are you right now?
I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, Baton Rouge? Okay, great. So you're with family and friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, awesome. Hey, enjoy this moment with your family. This is great. And, you know, obviously we had a chance to visit there at the Pro Day, so you just come on in just like you worked that day and keep working. So congratulations. Enjoy this moment, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Cal.
Appreciate y'all for believing me.
All right, man.
Shout out to the fine people over at DallasCowboys.com. Incredible work they do to get the secret audio up so fast. Let's take a look at what the Dallas Cowboys have done as we sit here in the third round. We are now, goodness gracious, things are heating up. The Dallas Cowboys will be on the clock next at pick number 75 overall. If you're watching on TV, the 68th pick is in. However, if you are following along here with us, which you should be doing, make sure you subscribe right here to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, like our Facebook page. If you're on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. But more importantly, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By the way, our conversation that we had in the second round is now up on our podcast feed. Go subscribe to the Blogging the Boys podcast network so you get access to all of our wonderful shows. We make sure you're taken care of however you consume your Cowboys content. But we are now up to the 72nd overall pick of the 2021 NFL draft. If you are into tipping picks, we saw the Houston Texans get on the board finally with a quarterback. Looking for what the latest pick is you recall, obviously, we're trying to move very fast here. With the 68th pick, the Atlanta Falcons took Jalen Mayfield, the offensive lineman. That's great. There has been a run on quarterbacks so far, which is really nice here in the third round. We want to see a bunch of players pushed down to the Dallas Cowboys. Just push them on, push them on, push them on. Keep pushing every single awesome player to the Dallas Cowboys, that is. So let's ultimately, figure things out here, what we want for the Dallas Cowboys. They have addressed the linebacker position. They have addressed the cornerback position in drafting Micah Parsons and Kelvin Joseph. I always want to say Kevin Johnson, who was a former member of the Houston Texans. But let's see here. Checking out Twitter. Oh, my goodness. Friend of the show, I interviewed this player in a different podcast, the SB Nation NFL show. I host a couple of shows there. Kellen Mond, Texas A&M quarterback. I know we have a lot of Aggies in the house, is now a member of the Minnesota Vikings. So Kellen Mond, what do you think about that? Is headed to Minnesota to back up Kirk Cousins, maybe take the job away from Kirk Cousins. That is a very interesting situation. I know there were some Cowboys fans that thought maybe he would ultimately, find his way to Dallas, but that was never going to happen. So let's see here. What pick are we on? Let's get organized a little bit here. Let's check this out. Check it out. We're putting things together, everybody. So give us a second as we find our way through here. Navigating Twitter. We want to make sure you're caught up with, okay, the 72nd overall pick is the last one in, and I have an apology for people who were maybe into this idea for the Dallas Cowboys. With the 72nd overall pick, the Detroit Lions have selected defensive tackle Alim McNeill. He is off the board, which is now an unfortunate reality. There were a lot of people who thought Alim was a candidate for the Cowboys to take around this territory. Somebody who our own Dalton Miller has really liked. We've done several mock drafts, obviously, both here on the YouTube channel and at bloggingtheboys.com, where we have played around with the idea of him ending up with the Dallas Cowboys. But so he is gone at 72 overall. That means we are now 2 picks away from the Dallas Cowboys being on the clock. The 73rd overall pick seems to be what is next. That is the Philadelphia Eagles as of the present moment. And we saw Joseph Asai go to the Cincinnati Bengals to kind of catch you up on everything that's happening here. Alim McNeill gone. What's your one-word reaction to Alim McNeill ultimately being gone off of the board for the Dallas Cowboys? Again, I don't think that that's anything we would have been upset about, or the Cowboys taking him. But one-word reaction to Alim McNeill being a member of the Detroit Lions, who are not the Dallas Cowboys. Again, North Carolina State D tackle Alim McNeill heading to the 3-1-3. I mean, slight bummer. I know that's 2 words, but so whatever, I guess, is my ultimate, word. Aiden says bye. Chris says sorry. Faris says surprised. Matt cheats and says GL, which is good luck. Chris also cheats. Could have been combining words here. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think if the Cowboys had taken Alim McNeill here, I don't think any of us are bummed about it. I think we're all ultimately fairly excited about it, but him leaving is not anything that is upsetting, I think, to any Cowboys fan. So that being said, the Dallas Cowboys, obviously, Chris Summers says TV way behind. That's right, Chris. Stay tuned right here to Blogging the Boys and everything we're doing for you. Let's take a look at the Cowboys draft class so we can establish what we want to see here. As mentioned, we know that the Cowboys have 3 picks in this round. Things are going to go very, very, very fast over the course of the next hour or so. So buckle up. Get ready. In the break, got myself a root beer. Let's have ourselves a good time, whatever your drink of choice. Hey, mine's a root beer right now because I got to stay caffeinated. I got to stay ready to roll. This is a marathon, baby, all right? It's like you got a carbo load, you got a caffeine load, so let's do this. A&W. Again, we're not looking for sponsors right now, but if we are, what's up? Anyway, I think we've got Matt David says, what do we think of Shaun Wade? Not opposed. Kevin says, Melifanu, I believe, is still out here. If I am wrong, please correct me. I am relying on all of you. We are one family here, all right? We all live in one house. This is our house. Welcome. This is the living room. I believe Melifonwu's still on the board. So if I'm ever wrong on any of these things over the course of the rest of the night, please let me know, because this is going to go very, very, very fast. And the Cowboys could double up at corner, and I don't think that would be a bad idea whatsoever. I mean, their defense, as mentioned, has ultimately improved. I know people wish it was a little bit different. Let's see. Norman says, Melifonwu in all caps. Ruben says, Caden Stearns. I'm going to imagine that Ruben has spent many a time in his life on the 40 acres. Let's see here. Chris says, Ifeatsi, I think you're talking about Melifonwu. Difficult name to spell at first glance, difficult name to pronounce, obviously, as well. Pee Wee Williams says another cornerback. I like the separate wording, like really makes it cornerback. Yeah, I don't think that that's a bad idea. Waiting to see here. if any other picks are being made. Kyle Trask, by the way, if you missed it, is a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about quarterbacks, obviously there being a run on them, so backing up Tom Brady on the reigning world champions. With the 73rd overall pick, we are now seemingly one pick away from the Dallas Cowboys being on the clock. The Philadelphia Eagles have selected defensive tackle Milton Williams, so another defensive tackle off the board for the Dallas Cowboys, if that's the direction you ultimately wanted. We've got Tommy Togiai is still on the board. If you want to go that direction, there are a number of ways the Cowboys could go here, and they are, again, seemingly one pick away from being on the clock. If you're watching on TV, those things are behind. So we've got let's see here. I already forgot. We've got Detroit going defensive tackle. We've got Philadelphia going defensive tackle. What is going to happen with the Washington football team before the Dallas Cowboys pick? I don't know. It does feel like this is secondary territory here. I mean, it still feels like this is going to, the Cowboys have to continue to address their secondary. And remember, I mean, they're going to be picking 9 picks again after this. So this is going to fly. So whatever this pick is, it is not necessarily a commitment to one direction or the other. So right now, this is a matter of choosing. This is a matter of choosing one option or the other, because, you know, I mean, this is going to be the most fun round I think that we've had so far, because A, I don't think there's a chance the Cowboys get sniped here, but B, they have 3 selections, which means that there's going to be a lot of action flying around. I'm making certain what is happening here, looking for the Dallas Cowboys to potentially be on the clock. Have we gotten a 74th overall pick? We have not. We have not. So Washington's still on the clock. Again, Milton Williams from Louisiana Tech going to the Philadelphia Eagles. The run on defensive tackles has started. So if you want one, now is maybe the time to do it. But again, you got to pick in 9 spots. This is, like I'm saying, this is a situation where the Cowboys have to be down to 2 players or 3 players or a lot of players. But get my point. The Cowboys need to make a commitment in one direction here, because they have to wait 9 more picks after this. And so this is a matter of who do we think is going to fall. And if you think it's, let's see here, who do we have? Perkins or Molden we've got from Jason. We've got Dan wanting an offensive tackle. Let's see here. Still no sign on who went at 74. Checking things out, trying to make sure we're not missing anything over here. Let's see here. Who do you want? Let's just go with your thoughts, your opinions as we get ready here, as we look for the 74th overall pick in the draft. Your thoughts. Who do you want with the 75th overall pick for the Dallas Cowboys in a moment's notice? Because we are waiting to find out who has gone 74. Still nothing. You know, you would think it's been like 10 minutes at this point. I think we have a pick here. Looking. It is with the 74th overall pick, the Washington football team have taken Benjamin St-Juste. So another corner off the board. Now, the Dallas Cowboys are officially, again, I know you're watching on TV behind us because you prioritize us, because you love us, but the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock now. So who is it going to be? They have options. Melifont, see, and this would really, I think, pull people back in a very different direction. If the Cowboys, we've been talking about this, they have, you know, it's been really obvious that they could potentially double dip at corner, that they could double dip at linebacker. They could go a number of directions in terms of the double, and Melifonwu still being there provides that option. And I think a lot of people would love the Kelvin Joseph pick a lot more if Melifonwu was the pick here. I don't know that I buy that will happen. Again, making sure, okay, this is the Aleem McNeil pick. We're way past that here. Nixon at defensive tackle, not opposed. Anthony says Deion Sanders. Thank you, Anthony, for taking this very seriously. Dallas Cowboys Central News. Hey, RJ, what's up? Hope you guys are having a great night. Here we go. Here we go. Still nothing here. But the Dallas Cowboys are technically on the clock. Let's see here. We could go, Divine Diablo is an option. Looking here. I don't know. Well, this is tough. Let's see. Who do I want at this moment in time? I really don't have a preference. This is the first time this draft that this is going to be a hard pick to mess up, honestly. And I think that's where I'm ultimately falling here. I think that right now the Cowboys have options, which is something that hasn't really been the case with each of their last 2 selections, maybe last 3, if you want to call it that, because of the fact that they got sniped. But right now, this, let's see here. We've got Elijah Molden, another great option. We've got another, no, that's Davis. Again, Davis really trying to do this. Joe Kavanaugh, really driving the safety situation. Devin says Diablo in the 4th. Marvin Wilson. I think Marvin Wilson just went to the Philadelphia Eagles, so that is not possible. But we've got here, nope, nothing yet. No update. Waiting. We should be getting another update very soon on who the Dallas Cowboys have taken with the 75th overall pick. Nope, nothing yet. Milton Williams just went, by the way, on the television broadcast. If you're watching on NFL Network, thank you, Andrew, for letting us know here. Let's see here. Matt Davis says either offensive line or defensive line. That seems very, very possible here. Look, we believe the Cowboys are going to walk away with an offensive lineman before this round is over. Bobby Belt told us in our 2nd round stream that he guarantees it. The Dallas Cowboys, this is okay. We've got it. Let's see here, baby. Everybody buckle up. We've got, we're looking for it. The pick is in. With the 75th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys have addressed defense once again. Defensive tackle, you'll have to forgive me, Osa Odighizuwa. The Dallas Cowboys getting on the board along the interior of the defensive line. The Cowboys now have addressed their linebacker core. They have addressed their secondary. They have addressed the middle of their defensive line. This is, I don't know how you're not upset about, or how you can be upset about this. The Cowboys going heavy on defense early on in the 2021 NFL Draft. They now, again, defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa, making it difficult on us here on the live show. You know, sometimes things are easier, sometimes things are not, but the Dallas Cowboys now have a new defensive tackle. For the 2nd year in a row, the Dallas Cowboys have taken a D tackle in the 3rd round. Now have a second option besides Neville Gallimore, beyond Tristan Hill. I think we've already kind of given up on them potentially bringing back, Gerald McCoy. But still, we're checking things out. Again, okay, just making sure. UCLA defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa is the pick for the Dallas Cowboys at 75 overall. So they have a new defensive tackle. Again, we're getting all the information as soon as we can up for you here. What are your thoughts? Let's go with your one. Actually, I don't want one word. I want 4 words. Give me 4 words to react. We're going to go with Osa here. Everyone is forgiving of the fact that his last name is difficult. Everybody whose last name starts with an O sometimes has a difficult last name to pronounce. So 4 words reaction. Your reaction to this pick in 4 words. The Dallas Cowboys now have a new defensive tackle. Chris Lopez letting us know the 5th ranked defensive tackle. This is the Cowboys going out and getting a really promising player, somebody who has had a chip on his shoulder for a long time, somebody who can, I think, let's see here. Our comments are coming in fast. Edgar says the Cowboys do love those 3rd round defensive tackles. Yes, this is definitely something that the Cowboys have kind of made, already a habit of theirs. But 4 words reaction. Let's see. Road grader. Nice pick from Adam Dooley. Thank you. A really good pick from Joe Hart. For Reese, a little bit more negative. Could have been Wilson. The Abacus defensive tackle badly needed. Norman Chang says help keep linebackers clean. Marlon, somebody must be able. Odessa, this is very good. I applaud the levels of creativity that we're getting here. I'm looking, by the way, for an image to share on our social stream, by the way. So that's why I'm off in the distance behind you as well. Ultimately, I think this is a commitment, beyond to the defensive tackle position as a whole. This is a commitment to Micah Parsons, right? Like this is the idea, right? Like the Cowboys. Micah Parsons said in his opening press conference today with the Dallas Cowboys that Dan Quinn told him that he wanted to send him on a lot of blitzes. Now, I'll believe that when I see that, but I mean, if the Cowboys are establishing depth along the interior of the defensive line, it is clearly a situation where they want to have bodies. We know that is something that they have lacked. We know that is a position that they have not addressed. And think about it. Again, they used to this was a position that they treated like a cast-off spot. I mean, we're going a little bit further back here, but Jason Hatcher, Henry Melton, I mean, Stephen Paya, Cedric Thornton. I mean, back-to-back situations, or back-to-back years, excuse me, where the Cowboys have taken a defensive tackle in the third round with a top 100 pick. Michael, thank you very much, letting us know was a state champion wrestler. This is, you know, there's a lot to like about this here. From Dame Brugler's scouting report here, this is too tiny for me to read here on off the fly, but we're getting this information up for you right here. This is, you know, I feel like we're all pleased. And again, this is not the letdown I think that the last two rounds have felt like. This is the Cowboys ultimately coming away with a player that can help their, I mean, all these players can help their defense, but a player that certainly is a bit surprising in terms of not your household name, but a player that offers help again in an area where it is much needed. We have seen that the Cowboys needed to get better here for a long time, and they have conceivably gone out and done that. And we have been asking them to do that forever. It seems like they have now taken it seriously over the course of the last 2 years. And so that is, I don't know how you can be upset about this. I don't know how you can, you know, feel like the team is not serious and not committed to this, because they're showing by way of their resources that they really are. Let's see here. We're getting our BTB friends here in with us to join us. Let's look at this. We're looking for who is next year. We've got David Howman is scheduled to join us. Let's get Howman up in here, sending him our invitation. There you go, Howman. I have caps lock on. I don't want him to think this is intimidating. So David Howman from Blogging the Boys scheduled to join us in just a moment. Let's see here. Making sure we're not missing anything. John Owning, friend of the show, who is great at studying defensive linemen in general. His tweet on Twitter at John Owning. Odighizuwa really showed off his pass rush talent at the Senior Bowl. Beautiful stutter cross chop that beat Deontay Brown's hands before cornering and flattening to the quarterback for the sack fumble. He led all players in pressures with 5 in the game. So a lot to like. I mean, really a lot to like on paper, a lot to like in principle, a lot to like in philosophy. Matt Davis here says, going to have to move. What do we got here? Going to have to move Neal back to safety. The Cowboys do have options ultimately. The Cowboys now NFL Network finally is caught up. They've got Osa's card up here. Let's see. Let's get that back on the screen here for us. They've got highlights playing for him. Obviously his game against Arizona. Somebody who again gives the Cowboys, we've got our graphics ready for you. Give us 1 second here. Again, somebody who gives the Cowboys another option, because the Cowboys have been so lumped up with, you know, honestly not having options. In fact, let's go ahead and let's discuss them. David Howman of bloggingtheboys.com fame is joining us now. David, how goes it?
Going good. How about you?
It's going well. Can you pronounce Osa's last name?
Odighizuwa.
Thank you very much. Say it 3 times for us, just so it can get into it.
He actually had a family member who was in the draft a couple years ago. I can't remember what his first name was, but I've memorized the name ever since then. So when I saw Osa pop up, I was like, we got another one.
All right. So give us your thoughts, your principal thoughts on the newest defensive tackle for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, my first thought is that he's sort of a Tyrone Crawford replacement. You see he's 6'2", 282, so he's not overly big, but he's also you know, he can play on the end and base fronts. He can move inside as mostly a 3 technique and rush the passer up there. He's kind of a weird player because he's not very big, but he's incredibly long and gets really good leverage when he's going up against offensive linemen. So he offers a lot of things, but definitely was not somebody I thought that they were going to target this early on in the draft.
Why not?
Mostly just because he's undersized and he's more of a 3 technique specific guy who also goes on the outside. I thought they'd go after somebody bigger like Tommy Togiai from Ohio State, right. Marvin Wilson from Florida State, or potentially go after one of the few safeties, true center field safeties that are still out there, like Indiana's Jamar Johnson, or even Hufanga from USC, who's not necessarily a strict center fielder, but has the potential to play there. So I was surprised by it, but it's definitely a good pick, and he's going to be able to fill a couple different roles in Dan Quinn's defense.
So when you talk about filling the Tyrone Crawford role, let's unpack that, because I think that a lot of people maybe rolled their eyes. Oh, by the way, Paulson Adebo just went to the New Orleans Saints, the pick after the Cowboys just took Osa. But let's expand the Tyrone Crawford point, because again, that's not exactly something that people hold near and dear to their hearts in terms of who Tyrone Crawford was on the field for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Tyrone Crawford was very underrated for what he did. He also kept on changing positions for the Cowboys and never really complained about it. He was a good guy in the locker room. But he also just gives some position flexibility there, being able to play on the defensive end position in base, being able to move inside and be an extra pass rusher there, which when you're constructing your roster, then that's, if you feel good about him, that's one less defensive end. You need to have one less defensive tackle. You can go a little heavier at other positions of need. Like, for example, the secondary, which looks like they've already targeted with corner. They're probably going to target again later on. But beyond that, Dan Quinn's scheme, they kind of do some interesting things with their defensive line. I always say, like, they incorporate some 3-4 principles with how they select their players. They usually want bigger guys, but they can move around and play multiple different spots on that line. Odighizuwa is not really big, of course, but he has the ability to go and play outside, play inside, and he's actually a fairly good run defender, even though he's a little slimmer, mostly just because he gets really good pad level and leverage, and he can help out in multiple different ways. So
I don't know. Let's compare this to last year. We've got Matt in the comment section. I think Gallimore will improve. He has a mean first step. Again, second year in a row, the Dallas Cowboys have taken a defensive tackle in the third round. Last year, it was Neville Gallimore. Where does this compare in your mind? I mean, would you put it as a similar quality pick? This is, I mean, the point here is it's an investment in the same position, the same round. Although, to be fair, the Cowboys did pick up another third-round pick yesterday, which they're going to be using in just a moment here. But how do they compare? I mean, versus literally this night last year?
I think that it remains to be seen. And of course, a big thing with Osa is, he is a very different player from Gallimore. Gallimore was much thicker, and he played a similar function of just being more of a penetration, one gap kind of guy. But Gallimore this past year was given a lot more run defense duties. He was asked to two gap a lot more. And I think he showed a lot of improvement throughout the year. He got a lot better at that as the season went on. So I do think that Gallimore is going to potentially have a really good year this year. I'm excited to see what he does. But Osa, I think, gives a little extra pass rush up the middle, because Gallimore, of course, that was his big thing coming out of Oklahoma. Is he's a really good penetration pass rusher, and I didn't really see a whole lot of it in the past year. And granted, he was a rookie coming in with minimal offseason, so how much you can judge him on that, I don't know. But between him, Tristan Hill, who was showing improvement before he got hurt, but you don't really know where he's at coming back. Those are really your two interior pass rushers, both of whom I think have good potential and upside, but neither are guys that I'm necessarily saying we're good on interior pass rush. I think that they need a little bit more than that, especially because if not, we'll see what happened with when we had DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn, where teams were just double teaming them the whole time, and our interior tackles couldn't really get home at all.
So we've got a lot of comments here, Dave, noting that this is a bit of a reach. Do you feel like that? I think people think that Micah Parsons was a reach. I think people feel like Kelvin was a reach. And this, I mean, we talked last year in a moment, but or a moment ago, and very different draft. Certainly, like, name brand wise. So do you view any of these picks as reaches, and if so, which ones and why?
I mean, I would preface it by saying this year is so much more different, just because for some players like Micah Parsons opted out. Other players only played a handful of games. Some played a full season. So it's a lot harder to really get an accurate judgment of players. And then, of course, from the team scouting, you don't have the combine. You don't know the medical situation. Most of the time, you don't get to actually meet with them in person. I would personally categorize all three of these picks as reaches.
Okay. Why? I mean, but I think some of that is some of Micah at least is positional value. Like that's player.
That's a big thing
aside.
for Micah with me. A big thing for me with Micah is positional value. But I also think I thought that Jeremiah Wuzu-Koramoah from Notre Dame was the better linebacker in the draft. He fell pretty far, and I think I saw something about his medical, and I think that might have scared some teams off. But I think the biggest thing for me was Parsons playing an off-ball linebacker spot, not doing very well in coverage. That's one of his biggest areas of improvement. So that was a big thing for me. With Kelvin Joseph, he's only had 1 year as a starter. And I mean, he was good in that 1 year, and specifically in his game against Alabama, he didn't allow a single catch in coverage when he was thrown at, which when you're going against Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, that's pretty good. But I question whether he's going to be ready to start right away. I think long-term he's going to be really good. And then with Osa, I like the pick, and I think he'll be a good player, but I think you probably could have gotten him at 84. Yeah,
I mean, certainly after our conversation now, this one feels like a reach. I can compartmentalize the first two picks, right? And I mean, if you want to believe that Micah was the highest, if the Cowboys truly, evaluated their board in the sense that he was higher on it than either corner, I mean, if you buy that, that's fine. If you don't, whatever. But no. I mean, but even if you don't, I mean, they got wiped out. And so they made an adjustment. They went and got it energized. A shout out to Maggie from How I Met Your Mother, of course. But I think a similar thing happened in round 2 with Trayvon going right before them to Vegas. And so that was a difficult thing. Scott asking, why is it such a difference from last year in terms of value? To me, I think that the board worked for them last year in that it was like consensus best player available, at least at this point, right? CD was an obvious, slam dunk in that capacity. Trayvon Diggs was somebody who they contemplated taking with their first round pick. And then Neville Gallimore was somebody who a lot of people, had fringe second round last year. And so that's why last year was really just this fastballs down the middle, crushing every single time. I mean, would you agree? Is my pulse on that right? Because this does feel, especially this particular pick, feels a little not deviation from the board, but just their personal preference, which is a lot of what the draft comes down to.
Yeah, I think that would be right. And I mean, last year was definitely an anomaly in the best of ways. I mean, a whole bunch of players that I never thought were going to be available at those different picks fell to those picks. Another one was Bradley Anae, who I'm one of the Bradley Anae fan club members. And I before the draft, I was saying he's probably like a late third, early fourth, and they ended up getting him in the 5th round. Last year was just it fell really well for Dallas. This year, you get wiped out at corner in the 1st round. And I think they did the best that they could in that situation. They traded down, picked up an extra top 100 pick, took a guy in Micah Parsons that whether he was the best defender on their board before or not, after those two guys went off the board, he was the best defender left. Kelvin Joseph was one of the few really good corners still there at 44 and has a lot of upside. And he also really fits well with what Dan Quinn runs scheme-wise. And then another thing that I would point out with Osa is, Dan Quinn is a defensive line coach by trade, and he's all accounts from Atlanta when he was the head coach. He gets very, very hands-on involved with the defensive line. So if he's in there saying let's go and get Osa, I'm going to trust him, and I'm going to trust his judgment and his evaluation. He gets paid a lot more than I do, and
that's not true. We pay Howman really well at Blogging the Voice, so don't let him lie to you.
But he's a former head coach. He's a current defensive coordinator. He definitely, I think, knows what he's doing, and he's won a Super Bowl too, which I have not. If I were running the team, I would not have taken Osa at this pick, but I also wouldn't need a defensive tackle because I would have taken Christian Barmore in the first round. So a lot of things would have been different.
Howman, before we get you out of here, I want to bring one more thing up because we got to get ready for 84 overall, which is definitely going to be a Hall of Famer based on the fact that Philadelphia traded it to Dallas. Raul Duke says outmaneuvered and looks desperate. This I disagree with. I don't think the Cowboys have been outmaneuvered. Maybe you could say that about if their hearts were truly set on Trayvon in the second round. I mean, they got sniped, but I wouldn't call that getting outmaneuvered. I would just call that the draft. Like sometimes teams want players and are willing to pay more than you are. And I mean, in the first round, I mean, that it was definitely possible and conceivable that both corners could go before Micah. But it was among the further and farther few in between, you know, hypotheticals that you could outline heading into night one. And so like, I think that they've just, you know, this is different than last year in that, like we've talked about so much right now, that like everything went their way. I mean, you know, like, and sometimes that happens like in the game of football, right? Like you just, you know, it's an oblong shaped ball that bounces your way sometimes. And that happened last year in the draft. And like, this isn't that. This is just like bad luck is even putting it too aggressively. This is just some unfortunate circumstances. And I think they've actually done a really great job of pivoting and getting players that, you know, maybe Dan Quinn certainly likes, but that they like and that fit their molds and fit their needs. That's an almost harder skill to have than it is to just take the dudes that incidentally fall all the way to you every single time.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And, you know, the Cowboys are, by all accounts, they're sticking to their board and they're getting the guys that they think that they want. And so far 3 picks and they've all been defense. And that's what we needed, was to get some more bodies on defense.
All right, Howman, predictions for 84. Make yourself look smart.
I'm going to go with some safety.
Some safety. Again, we've been really busy here, and our commenters can help us out. Is Melifonwu? I don't think Melifonwu's gone. I know he's still there. So I'd like there has to be a double dip at some point, and
right.
They still have 2 more picks in this round, one coming up very soon. And so actually, this is my last question. Where do they double dip first? This whole draft.
I think based on the Osa pick, they're going to double dip defensive tackle first and try to get one of those big one technique guys like Tyler Shelvin, Marvin Wilson, or to Daryl Slayton out of Florida.
And I believe Tommy Togiai is still on the board as well.
Oh, so he's a possibility too.
Right. They could double dip there. Okay. Howman, thanks so much. You can check his work out at bloggingtheboys.com. Does a great job for us. One of the snarkier people on Twitter as well. Does a great job. His Twitter handle is he borders it. So he's got an underscore on each side, DH44. Howman, thanks so much for taking the time to join us, my man. Enjoy the rest of the draft.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So that was helpful. As I get these off, that was therapeutic, I think. And I think that we're all this is the pick that I'm a little bit, you know, this has been a weird draft so far. And we appreciate those of you who are joining us late, maybe joined us in the middle of the interview. I'm RJ Ochoa, manager, editor-in-chief over at bloggingtheboys.com. We've been doing this the whole draft. We'll continue to do this the whole draft. We're not going anywhere. We're streaming all throughout the draft on the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there. We do a whole lot of stuff all year round, not just during the draft, not just during the season, because we know, just like us, you are obsessed with the Dallas Cowboys, and we want to talk about them with you 24/7, 365. But you can also watch this on our Facebook page, on our Twitter page, whatever the case may be. So we're having fun. We have 2 more picks to get to here in the 3rd round as the Dallas Cowboys move on. They have addressed, as noted, the defensive tackle position. Marlon says puzzled. I think that that's maybe the best word that I would use. This has been Dion says if we take it, there's no way the Cowboys are taking a wide receiver here. But let's see here. Scott says we've got Melifonwu as an option, notably. We've got Molden as an option. Let's see here. Devin says Diablo to the Raiders. Let's see. I'm looking at my TV. The Raiders with the 79th selection. Their pick is in. I think you're right. Yes, Divine Diablo going to the Las Vegas Raiders. So they now have taken safeties in back-to-back rounds. Wow. That hurts a little bit. You know, Not gonna lie, that hurts. But you know what? At this point, I think, and let's commit to it right now. Let's commit to it. We're at pick 80, 84 is coming up. Let's just, let's go crazy. Let's just do this. All right. You and me, let's do this. Who do you want? Let's say it right now so that when it happens, we feel joyful, or if it doesn't happen, we just feel the complete and utter heartbreak that the NFL draft can sometimes provide. I am with Zachary. Zachary is my leader and I am following him. I want Melifonwu. That's who I want. That's the train that I am signing up behind. Who should the Dallas Cowboys take with the 84th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft? Remember, this is the pick that the Cowboys got from the Philadelphia Eagles when they traded back last night from 10 to 12 and ultimately wound up with Micah Parsons. Michael Daniels is particularly passionate about this, offering us several exclamation points here. Matt's been driving the Shaun Wade trade for a while. Rah-rah, getting riled up. Shaun Wade or Amari Rodgers. Dallas Martin says Melifonwu. Anthony Tate says best offensive tackle on the board. Can't go wrong there. Joe Hart says I'm with you. Edgar says double dip at corner. That's the thing. Like I like the Melifonwu pick in that I like the pick. But I like if you're telling me the Cowboys walk away with 2 corners, no. Did this really happen? I'm checking here. I'm not trying to doubt Zahir, but it seems like Melifonwu was just taken. There's no way. Did this really happen? Making sure here. I'm making sure. This is real, baby. This is real emotion. All right. You ever just watch like Survivor or Big Brother or The Challenge on MTV? To just watch that. Maybe not The Challenge, but like just to feel emotion. I do not see that the Rams have taken Melifonwu. I don't see this. Can somebody, is this happened? I don't think this has happened. I'm not trying to call Zahir a liar, but I don't think that happened. I think Melifonwu is still here. I think we're good. I feel like I mentioned How I Met Your Mother a moment ago, that episode where the pencil lands in Barney Stinson's ear when they're throwing it up in the ceiling and he freaks out. I think Melifonwu is still here. Are we alive? Okay, I'm getting confirmation here. You can't scare us like this. Goodness gracious. Hunter Long going to the Miami Dolphins. All right, everybody, that was a scare. Kevin, thank you. The Rams don't pick until 88. Look, we're juggling a lot of things here, Kevin. I got wrapped up in emotions. Raul says maybe he was just trolling. I just got rickrolled, everybody, so I'm sorry. Marlon says stop playing with us. Stop, for real. Stop playing with us. This is nuts. Okay, so we now, let's see. Rob says Shaun Wade. I feel it. Let's see here. I don't know what just happened with Byron Jones. My Twitter timeline is all alive. I guess he made the pick for the Miami Dolphins. Byron Jones did. Let's see here. Where are we at? The Cowboys again will pick at 84 overall. What is next? Where are we at? Hunter Long is the last pick in at 81 overall. So we're waiting. Apparently Jason Tatum scored 60 points tonight. Holy crap. Different subject, but man alive. Okay. Melifonwu, who do you want? Let's get back here. Let's get focused. All right, let's get serious. All right, didn't mean to hit the microphone. Let's get. Oh, thank you. Kevin says Byron made the pick. If I was one of those Cowboys fans, I would say it's the first time he's made a pick. If you know what I mean. But I'm not going to say that anyway. Melifonwu has to be the pick here for the Cowboys. Double dip, and if you have 2 corners after the first 84 picks of the draft, and they are Kelvin Joseph and they are Fatu Melifonwu, you've got to feel pretty good about that. I mean, you really have to feel pleased with that. Molden is another nice option. As I continue to check what's happening here, Washington, their pick is in. They have taken wide receiver Diami Brown. Okay, cool. We are another pick closer. The Carolina Panthers are the last team to pick before the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Let's calm down here. I want your picks. I want your predictions again. Let's manifest this. Like, we are 1 pick away. Who are the? I don't. This is no longer who you want. Now it's time to call your shot. Who are the Dallas Cowboys going to pick with the 84th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Remember, this is the pick the Cowboys got from the Philadelphia Eagles by way of the trade last night. In fact, let's take a look again at the trade terms. The Cowboys got the 12th pick and this pick that's about to happen, the 84th overall pick, in exchange for the 10th pick. The Eagles walked away with a wide receiver in Devontae Smith. The Cowboys got a corner that was capable of covering him very well in Kelvin Joseph. So who is this going to be to Carolina so the Dallas Cowboys can finally be on the clock? All right, who do you guys want? Everybody wants Molden. Wow. Goodness gracious. Bill Reynolds, Billy, excuse me. Safety, just, playing it safe. No pun intended. Scott says the Panthers have sniped us all drafts. A great point. Everybody watch out here. Molden is a very popular answer. Norman says any cornerback who looks at the ball when it's thrown. Amy says Molden. The Abacus says Molden. Scott is a Melifonwu fan. The Panthers just tweeted that it's their turn. Don't ruin this for us, Panthers. Okay. Things are getting hot and heavy here. This is starting to get a little stressful once again. Let's see here. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. This is not anything. I'm just making sure we're all caught up. We are gearing up and getting ready the Dallas Cowboys to make their 4th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Leroy's just best player available. I'm a simple person, Leroy. Don says Anthony Schwartz, a great player, but no thanks right here. Kevin says Carolina has been a pain all draft. Seriously, Carolina, get it together, man. Stop being a bunch of jerks. Who is this going to be? Let's take a look again at what the Dallas Cowboys have left. Right now, the 84th overall pick is their next selection, which they are getting ready to make. We're waiting to see what the Carolina Panthers do with the 83rd overall choice. The Dallas Cowboys will, after this, still have 7 selections left in the 2021 NFL Draft. Let's see. I think we have an update. Double checking. Thank you to our commenters for putting it on the radar. And the pick is in. The pick is in for the Carolina Panthers, which means the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock with the 83rd overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers selected tight end Tommy Tremble. All right, baby. Melifonwu's there. Tommy's there. Molden's there. Lots of players that we like for the Dallas Cowboys right here. There are options. All right. The Cowboys have options. Say it with me. Options. And that is, again, we were a little bit stunned a moment ago. But I mean, it's going to be difficult, I think, for this to not be a pick that we like. I would actually be stunned if, and I've been stunned a lot this weekend. Let's see here. We've got, where was the comment I was looking for here? Kevin, here we go. Zachary said it with me. Options. Appreciate it, Zachary. This is the options pick right now because Trey says, who would I pick? I'm taking Melifonwu. I've been saying this for the last 20 minutes. Now is the time to double dip. The situation at corner is the most dire one when you think about it, especially after the Micah Parsons pick, right? The Cowboys, the future of the position is well established there. But if you're telling me, think about, I don't know. Think about what the Jaguars have done at corner. The Jaguars are well stocked at corner. They got this night started off with a corner. And so if the Cowboys had a corner combination of Trayvon Diggs, of Kelvin Joseph, of Melifonwu to move forward into the future, suddenly I think we feel better about the next couple of years on defense. And we've all talked about Dan Quinn's going to bring back ideally going to bring back the Legion of Boom, blah, blah, blah. I mean, give him a secondary to work with. Let's see. Nothing in yet. We're waiting to see who the Cowboys pick. Updating. Nope, nothing yet. I'm Team Melifonwu. By the way, Helmet says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, appreciate it. We've got here, Tino says they won't double dip. I think they'll absolutely double dip at a certain point. They will, and I think they'll double dip this round. They have 2 picks left to ultimately double dip somewhere. I would be stunned if they took 2 different positions that they have in our. I mean, the Cowboys have taken a linebacker, a corner, and a defensive tackle already. I think the pick is in. Well, it's a new position. All right, baby, everybody get ready. Hold on and buckle up because the pick is in. With the 84th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys have chosen defensive end Chauncey Golston out of Iowa, the pick that they earned from the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go. Let's get your reactions. How are you feeling? One-word reactions to Chauncey Golston, the newest member of the Dallas Cowboys, a new defensive end in town. Okay. Okay. How are we feeling? One-word reaction. Let's go, everybody. They are not great. Who, what, who, lots of who's, what, this has been a puzzling night, in a lot of ways. This has been a very, very, very puzzling night in many ways for the Dallas Cowboys. Chauncey Golston, the newest member of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see. Okay, just making sure. Wow, let's get it up here for you here. The Dallas Cowboys have a new, sorry about that right here. A new player. Let's see. Whoa, the comments got very, very, very dark very quickly. I think Aaron kind of hit the nail on the head for me. Who? By the way, the Packers just traded out of the 85th overall pick, or into the 85th overall pick. And so Chauncey played very well at the Senior Bowl, focusing on positives here. I really don't understand what this is. This is difficult to comprehend what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. All right, let's get we have another guest joining us here. Let's get Dave Sturchio in here so we can all react properly. Let's see, he's got the link. Sturch is on his way. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Okay. Wow. Was not expecting this. Anthony says may as well have traded for a 2022 pick. Here he is. Let's go ahead and get the headphones on from the Jersey Boys podcast from Chop Sports. Dave Sturchio joining us now here on the Blogging the Boys live show for the 2021 NFL Draft. Chauncey Golston, your thoughts?
I mean, man, we had it right there. I was with you with the corner. Look, as far as I'm concerned, defense, and that's what it's been. They've not gone away from that. So I'm all for it. I'm all for a full defensive draft. Is this the pick I was waiting for? I can't say that it was, but I can say that the Dallas Cowboys are addressing the need of a better defense. Now, I've heard a lot of Senior Bowl stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of he's good at the Senior Bowl. Like, okay, great, but I need a better body of work. But I am excited about the fact that, like, there's an unknown in Randy Gregory. There's unknowns on the defensive line. You know what I mean? Like, we're all excited we're going to get Gregory for the whole year, but we don't know. You know what I mean? So adding that depth, great. Do I do it here? No, I don't do it here. Yeah,
this is the first pick that I'm kind of against. Right. In the name of, like, the other picks that didn't go their way. I mean, like, I understand people being upset with the value of a linebacker in the top 12 or top 10, however you want to look at it. And I understand with missing out on Melifonwu, like, being upset about that. And, like, they had a chance to make amends for that here. This is not what they needed. This is a little, like, reckless is a heavy way to put this, but this is a wild card. And this is not, I mean, I don't know why you're passing on other options for this. It's maybe that's the way, like, I'm squaring it in my mind. By the way, the Packers traded up and took Amari Rodgers. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers, I suppose.
Another Rodgers.
But I mean,
it's a rough one. It's a rough one only because I feel like this is one of those throw in the dart picks. You know what I mean? Like, all right, let's see, and they just whip the dartboard and be like, all right, that guy, let's give that guy a shot. I don't think this is the time to do that. I know they have another haul of picks. This is going to be the one we all kind of circle, like, You know, when you're given the draft grades, Micah Parsons is your A, and and then you get Joseph and it's a B minus. I don't know. Like, we'll see how they grade them. But this one, you're just going to circle it and you're going to be like, I don't really know yet. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know yet.
Dude, but this was the pick this was the money pick. Like this was the
freebie. This was the freebie given to you. This is what you earned.
Right. This is free money. And so like now it's okay. We ultimately, traded 10 for, and like whatever. I mean, even if it was Micah Parsons, cool. We gave the Eagles Devontae Smith to land Micah Parsons and Chauncey Golston. That's not enough. Like in my immediate moment reaction, that's not enough. And especially like you had the chance here to really, I mean, you definitely, like, if you're talking about like positional need, I mean, and getting away from like best player available, this was the time to double dip. I mean, or at either corner or defensive tackle. We talked about Melifonwu, we talked about Tommy. I mean, like this was the time to do that, and they didn't. And I truly cannot even rationalize this pick.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear the explanation, and I'm sure we're going to get the same jargon that we usually get, like he was high on our board or something like that. And I'm just like, I'm not going to buy it for a second. You know what I mean? I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to buy that this guy was higher on their board. This is almost like you closed your eyes and you prayed and you just said, let's see what we can do here, when there's so many more things on the board. I mean, you're watching all the teams in the NFL add speed, add wideouts, guys that are going to burn you down the field. How do you cover that? You get corners. The corner was in your face. He was up there right in your face, and you said no. And unless they have a plan, like, what are we at, 86? Like, unless they have a plan to move back up again with, like, what, the next pick is what, 99? So how much draft capital can you push to get back up to now? Like, just trade right back in, like almost as if a mulligan. You're a golfer. You know what I'm saying? This do you get your mulligan here? Like, what do we do?
This was the mulligan. Like this, like, you know what I mean? Like this really was. Let's go with this as a comment theme. If you're watching us live, and we appreciate those of you who are, pretend you're a lawyer. This is how I like square a lot of like debates I'm in. Pretend you're a lawyer. Maybe if you're actually a lawyer, that would help if you're watching along live. What is the best way that you can defend this pick? Like if it is your job, if you are being paid actual real life money, whether that's dollars or Bitcoin or whatever the case may be, but you're being paid to defend this pick, what is the best thing that you can come up with?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got height and size. This is like like I said, this is a very shot in the dark. Like, again, you said it right before I jumped on. I think somebody said it in the chat saying that, he had a good, Senior Bowl. Like, great. There's a couple guys that can have a Senior Bowl and they never even make the league. You know what I mean? Like, this is alarming. You had a chance to grab an absolute need in corner, and you decided to. The only reason I can say, like, I can't justify the player and I can't justify the actual, like the player himself, but I can justify they're sticking to their defensive mindset. But again, like, there was so many more options out there, and we rattled them off. And I know you were literally like, I saw the beads of sweat. I was watching before I jumped on, like, you were waiting and waiting and waiting. We could have had everything that we wanted and double dipped on corner, and here we are.
It feels like to me, like in college, when you've like done, not that this has been the case with the Cowboys necessarily. By the way, on the subject of defending it, Marlon says, "Your Honor, we plead the fifth." Like, if that's your job. The Abacus, he was a team captain. We needed someone with leadership skills after getting 2 head cases. That's a harsh way to put the first 2 picks, but like, that's a self-induced error. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say like, oh yeah, like we did this in the 3rd round because of what we did in the 1st and 2nd rounds. Like, yeah, like, you can't. I mean,
that's no way to fix it. That's no way to fix it.
Alex is, I think he'll be fine if they get the help needed from the other defensive lineman. Here's the thing: Clint says his coaches loved him. That's all I've got. Cool.
Great.
But like, I mean, I'm not trying to like bag on anybody here, but like, the Cowboys already have the defensive end that gets ridiculous hype from a particular subset of human beings on earth for no reason. Like, hello, Dorrance Armstrong, right? Like, and what bothers me about this pick. We had David Howman on before you jumped on. What the hell, Bradley Anae? Like, that's your dude. Like, why are you spending draft capital on this position when you have somebody who you didn't even play last year when you got exceptional value? In fact, I didn't say this when Howman was here. I remember writing about this last year. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah literally graded Bradley Anae as the greatest overall value in the 2020 NFL draft relative to his draft position and where he had him ranked in his consensus big board. And so that being said, like, I'm not a fan of this pick, in no offense to Chauncey Golston, but like, this goes against what we have seen from them in terms of draft strategy since Mike McCarthy took over.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to write the guy off. I hope he proves everybody wrong. You know, I hope he just becomes this, I can't believe we got this guy in the third, you know, and we can be thanking Philly for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? Like, thank you so much for that pick. We don't know yet. We can't say that yet. But yeah, this is not the time nor the place to just, you know, kind of stack at one position. I think when we were doing our preview show last week with you, I mentioned Bradley Anae. I said, we got, you know, Gregory back for a full season. We got Anae. We got, like, look, Dorrance Armstrong. That project is just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that project anymore. It's Jerry's boy, and he's going to stick around. But, you know, there's a lot of guys there. And, you know, I was just talking to my father when I told him, I was like, hey, you know, we got to go safety here right before we pick Joseph, you know, and I was a big Mora guy. And I was like, look, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then he's like, well, didn't we sign all these guys and all these safeties? I said, yeah, we had Clinton Dix, and he didn't see the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could get these best player availables, and it will push other guys out the door without even seeing them on the field. I don't know how much this guy's going to see. You know, if you're getting a second year in Anae and a full year out of Gregory, and D-Law's back, like, how many reps is this guy going to get to even show that he's worth it? You know, like, how much is he going to be on the field?
So I don't think it's fair to the general purpose to rely on Randy Gregory. And I don't mean that as a knock on Randy, but like his path back to football is still happening, right? Like, so like you have to calculate that. That has to be a part of your overall math, that you don't know if this is a longer season, even you're adding a 17th game. And so while it's certainly fair to have heaps of optimism there, you have to couch that and you have to hedge that. But the hedge is already on your team in Bradley Anae. In fact, Sturch, give me a second here. I'm going to go solo, and I'm going to throw on the depth chart that we have for the Dallas Cowboys defensive ends. People can still hear you, Sturch, just so you're aware. These are all the defensive ends on the Dallas Cowboys roster. Bradley, this is alphabetical, nobody freak out. We've got Bradley Anae. We've got Dorrance Armstrong. They signed Terrell Basham this offseason. Rondo Carter, obviously somebody that came on late last year. Randy Gregory, Ladarius Hamilton, who had moments. Obviously, DeMarcus Lawrence, Breland Speaks. Brent Urban and Carlos Watkins, who they also signed. Not that these are players to be supremely hyped about by any means, but still, nonetheless, bodies on your roster. And so that if you're going to address this position, fine. You have so many picks tomorrow, but you cannot spend a top 100 pick at this position, in my mind, irregardless of who Chauncey Golston is. Although apparently Dane Brugler, the GOAT, views him rather highly, which maybe, affects some opinions.
I was just going to say, as long as we get a nice little grade out of Brugler, we'll be like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? We'll settle down a little bit. But look, I mean, like, I haven't been paying attention completely, but is the corner gone, or is he still sticking around?
So Joe Hart mentioned maybe he floats inside like Crawford. Okay, then why not just draft Tommy? Right, like why not just draft a straight up D tackle? Why mess around? And that's what plagued
another project. You want that?
Right. But that's what plagued Tyrone Crawford, through the early parts of his career, was the position flex, was the indecisiveness, was not, he even, like, this is a year where jersey numbers are a whole different thing, but he was like 78 for a while. And, he never had a true and classic jersey number. And so it's really, really, really difficult to understand where the Cowboys are coming from here. A lot of Twitter, is of the mindset that this is kind of a replacement for Tyrone Crawford. Kevin KT Turner from the Eagle tweeted, "My issue with the Cowboys draft so far is leaving better players on the board to draft other players instead." Yeah, I think that really, that certainly puts it in perspective. And in fact, let's take a look at the class as a whole here, Sturch, because the class does not feel bad. And Doomsday notes here that both Jeff Kavanaugh and Dayton had Golston on their wish list, and that's fine. So, but unpacking this situation here, they did. I just feel it would have been a better investment with Tommy, with Melifonwu, because this is a player who's not going to contribute to you right away. The Micah Parsons pick is emblematic of a more, I hate the term win now, but a more we're focused on the here and now methodology versus this is a stash, and you don't stash dudes in the third round. You had opportunities to draft different starters. Jonah Tolles, friend of the show, great analyst, tweeted, Chauncey Golston's film is really good. He's not going to be a double-digit sack guy. Few are, to be fair, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he becomes a reliable starter / depth piece for 10 years. That certainly feels optimistic.
10 years.
Is this your least favorite pick so far?
Oh, yeah, without question. I mean, only because it's more unknown. I mean, at least, the first three I knew a lot about. I know a lot about, I've read as much as I possibly could. Like I said, that thing was a Bible I read yesterday, was Connor's thing. I finally dove into it. I was like, good Lord. But he broke it down. I did read a little bit about Golston, but I just didn't see him ever floating around. I'm looking at the first four right now, which is on the screen, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this ain't 2020. That's all I'll say. You know what I'm saying? Like
few years are what last year was, to be fair.
Right. But it's, this ain't 2016. You know what I mean? Like this, obviously it just doesn't give the first two. Obviously, I think Joseph is a home run. I think I'm going to call him Double O because I already talked to the Jersey Boys guys. And it's like, there's no way. Keith Ernst said, he's like, I'm going to butcher this guy's name for a year. There's no way we could do this. And I said, we'll just call him Double O or something. I was excited about, obviously, Parsons is going to be an all-world player, I think. Joseph, he's a dog. He's in your face. I think he's going to be a good ball player. And the first stat I found was his game that he covered Devonta Smith. 0 catches. Right. 1 pick, which was great. It was awesome. Just even see that and just take it, rub that in a couple of my Eagle friends' faces. You know what I mean? But then, and then Double O comes in here. You definitely address the need at D tackle. I love the fact that he's a former wrestler. That just means that this dude is an athlete. He's been absolutely conditioned. I heard he played 60 snaps a game last year. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. That's a lot. And so again, first three felt good. This one, not so much. But again, I'm so willing to be proven wrong.
So the San Francisco 49ers just took Trey Sermon out of the Ohio State University. That is very exciting. If you're a dynasty player, I have a dynasty league of record. If any of my league mates are listening, shut up, stop listening for 10 seconds. But that is somebody I'm going to be focused on. But nobody cares about my fantasy team. The Houston Texans have just traded out of the 89th overall pick with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers already sniped the Cowboys once for a corner. I was going to say the only way this gets better, Joe Hart kind of just nailed it. Maybe they think the corner's still there. Maybe Melifonwu falls to obviously 99. And if that happens, this is far more palatable. But I mean, I'm now officially worried by Carolina trading up, and you still have to get past Buffalo. You still have to get past Denver, even. I mean, you still have Minnesota loves corners. I mean, there's a lot of places to look at it. Sean says this has special teams draft all over it. That I don't agree with.
No, I don't agree with that either.
But this, I was feeling okay. I was feeling kind of grilled chicken, asparagus, and corn for dinner. It's healthy for you, but not the most delicious thing in the world. Prior to this pick, this pick was like that meal with like a glass of room temp water. I was really looking forward to.
See, I'm a room temp water guy, man. So
well, I mean, yeah, sure. Like it like 2 a.m. when you wake up and need a swig. But I mean, like if you're eating dinner, you're looking for a sweet tea or something like that. And I was really hoping that that's what was going to happen. I don't know what the Carolina Panthers are doing yet. But Jeff Kavanaugh just tweeted, obviously part of 105 The Fans broadcast, after our phone call with Chauncey Golston, holy cow, that dude sounds like an ideal teammate. Nothing against him. I really have nothing against Chauncey himself. It just, I guess I feel the way that a lot of people felt about Micah last night. The positional aspect here is really not that great, all things considered, which is what you're looking for. I mean, at this point in the draft.
At this point, you said it right there. At this point of the draft, in the third round, especially that feel good moment where you're taking. Here's some numbers. These are all his credentials here. But see, 8.5 tackles. He's got stats. Like it's not like he's not a bum. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. Again, I'm all for being proven wrong on this draft pick.
I certainly, let's take a look here. We've got a couple of highlights for you here. Okay. All right.
All right.
Hey,
okay.
Yeah. I'm
That's
not mad
15
about
in the
this.
NFL, by the way.
Okay. All right. This is what we're talking about. This is why we're bringing you in, Chauncey. We need to get after the quarterback here. Okay. We need to force some fumbles. That's what we're talking about. All right. This is what we exactly. I don't know that this translates immediately. And again, even if it does, you don't have the snaps are not there in 2021. And that's my ultimate problem with this. James says he's a ball player. Stop knocking the kid. I really have nothing against Chauncey. And so in that respect, if you're going to take a defensive end, fine. I guess this is the one, but you had so many options. And to be fair here, I'm looking at where things stand. I think Tommy's still on the board. I think Melifonwu's on the board. Let me check this out, Sturch. But after watching some highlights, I guess, have you been encouraged at all? Redbirds Junkie, who's been with us all night, by the way. First team All Big Ten. Okay. Very fair. But yeah.
Do the highlights change my mind? I mean, look, that's why they're called highlights. You know what I mean? We're not seeing when he gets blasted off the ball. We're not seeing that. So, like, and who knows if it even happened or not. But yeah, the highlights are promising. Sure, he gets off his blocks pretty well. He makes tackles, something that we haven't done last year at all, almost. So this definitely works. Again, I'm willing to bet that he doesn't see a lot of the field. Just like remember how we were talking about Bradley and Nye last year? How like, oh, when is he getting on the field? When is he getting on the field? This might be the same thing. This might be the same exact thing. When is he getting on the field? Doesn't even make the team. You know what I mean? Like this is, you don't draft a guy in the third round with an if. You don't. Not in the third. Take that flyer in the fifth or sixth. Especially
off of a pick that you got for free.
Right.
FREE, that spells free. What is it? Creditreport.com, baby. I think is the jingle. But I was wrong, by the way. The Panthers traded out with the Texans, who used the 89th overall pick to select wide receiver Nico Collins. So, okay, nothing to worry about there. The 90th overall pick is in the Minnesota Vikings, took Patrick Jones, the pass rusher. So there are 8 picks left before the Cowboys ultimately go. What is your prediction, Sturch, after what was a rocky 84th overall pick? Although the comments now are coming back. Hey, everybody, welcome aboard that is joining us live here on our stream at Blogging the Boys. He's Dave Sturchio. You can listen to him on our podcast network on Mondays with Brett Ernst and Keith Ernst. I'm RJ Ochoa, and you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe right there. You can watch us on Facebook and Twitter. We've been here all night long. We'll be here again tomorrow. So, lots of good times coming. But the comments have rebounded, right? Like the initial is past.
It was the highlights. It was the highlights that did it.
Yeah. JD Dillard says just maybe the Cowboys are very high on this kid. But Raul Duke says, let me say it again, Melifonwu. That's right. Take Melifonwu right now. Don't mess around. But what are your thoughts as a whole? Have you calmed down at all? Has the next, has everything? Well, actually, hang on. We've got Dan Brockett here says, RJ, I'm in Iowa and I'm a Hawkeyes fan, and I can say Chauncey's a great defensive end. However, I just don't see defensive end as that high of a need. But if it is a need, then Chauncey's a great pick. That's really how I feel, honestly. Yeah, like I have nothing against him, but I mean, we made our peace with the fact that the first 2 picks went the way they did, and those are the biggest positions of weakness on the Cowboys roster defensively. In fact, I would argue that defensive end, and this is also speaking to how bad the other positions are, defensive end was their most stable position on defense from a depth perspective, in that you have DeMarcus Lawrence, you have Bradley Anae, you have Randy Gregory, you still have Dorrance Armstrong, who Jerry Jones loves more than anybody else in the world. And so, I mean, after the Osa pick, I still felt worse about linebacker, corner, D tackle, and safety than I did defensive end.
Yeah, they're going to have to address this now in the third round. If it's not corner or safety, you really got to start wondering what's going on. Then it's time to panic. This one might have been like, again, might have been the, hey, we're high on the kid, let's take him now because we don't want him to go anywhere else. I don't know. I don't know what the mentality is of the Joneses in that war room. But I think that this pick coming up now at 99 is very pivotal for them to absolutely get it right for any of the Cowboy Nation, including all of us here, to feel better, a little bit better heading into day 3. You know what I mean? Like this is one of those picks where they're going to be like, oh, I can't believe, like, it's either going to be like, I can't believe they did this again and they picked a guy nobody's heard of or made another reach, or they're going to pick somebody that you've been talking about the entire night and say, you know what, that pick that they had before this wasn't even supposed to be our pick, so we'll call it a wash. You know what I mean? Like they obtained that pick last night, so maybe they feel like it's a freebie, even though you shouldn't take the freebie in the 3rd round. But again, another receiver goes to the Browns. Like, so things are starting to trickle in our way. Like, again, if this is going to feel like Trayvon Diggs, we weren't supposed to get Trayvon Diggs last year, and we did. So if we can get Melifonwu, I am so on board with that.
So Anthony Schwartz, the Auburn wideout, is who Cleveland just took. Shout out to Michael Daniels keeping us updated here. That I love this pick for Cleveland. Like, Cowboys aside, this is an awesome pick for the Browns. That offense continues to get better. Very excited to see, what this is what's happening here. Dave Howman tweet here that tweeted that there was a fake pen throw from the Cowboys, which is their sign of kind of throwing some acting skills. Maybe they really were not in on Anthony Schwartz, or maybe they're ahead of the TV broadcast. But either way, the Cowboys pretending like they just lost somebody they really cared about. I ultimately think we're all on the same page. I don't think anybody here, you or I, or anybody in the comments at the moment, hates the pick of Chauncey Golston. I think we hate the idea. We hate it's not even, I hate the lost idea. When, you're losing out on potentials at other positions where you had greater needs. And yes, Melifonwu might fall, Tommy might fall, but you could have had both. And I would have rather had both. I mean, JD Diller notes Marlon's, I think Marlon's still there too. But I mean, that you have one more pick tonight and you have one last chance to redeem yourself. Christopher Summers says, I 100% hate the pick. He wrote out percent. He wrote out percent. That's a big one. Yeah. Let's go. Let's ask this question. And this is unfair, I think, but in the spirit of, whatever, let's ask the question. So far, 3 picks into tonight: Kelvin Joseph, Osa Odighizuwa, Chauncey Golston versus Micah Parsons last night. Which night, with 1 pick remaining, were you a better fan of, or a bigger fan of, with respect to being a Dallas Cowboys fan? Micah Parsons last night, or the haul the Cowboys have gotten tonight in round 2? We'll put the whole class up there so everybody can see. So again, the question is, were you happier at this time last night when the Cowboys had drafted Micah Parsons? And to be fair, the perpetual hope of an extra 3rd round pick was also now a part of the future. Or are you happier tonight, having seen what the Cowboys have done with 3 of their 4 day 2 picks?
I'll be completely honest with you. I felt a lot better after taking Parsons and getting that extra 3 than I do tonight. I mean, again, not trying to knock the picks. I like the picks, or at least 2 of the 3 of the picks. I think it's a decent haul. They've been doing all right. And they're sticking true to their plan. Again, big fan of the fact that they're going 4 defensive picks in a row. That leads me to believe that the next pick is an offensive lineman or something like that, just to go completely off the rails, which again, it's a need. There's always a need for an offensive lineman. But I'm 100% more excited about Micah Parsons and the potential of an extra 3rd round pick for doing pretty much nothing. All we did was slide a couple spots. You got an extra 3rd round pick. And then all of a sudden, this is what you turned it out. It really makes it a little defeating. So I'm going to go with last night.
Michael Daniels says, day 1 versus day 2, do you like liver better than kale? Every time I think of liver, I think of that episode of Doug.
Oh my God, dude, liver. My God.
Where he had to eat the liver and onions or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a date at Patty Mayonnaise house, I think.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
I've never had liver and onions, if I'm being honest, so I have no idea what it tastes like.
Me neither.
But so I'm going to assume that I would not like it. But yeah, I don't think it's liver versus kale. Kale can be good, like in smoothies or whatever.
Yeah, you mix that up.
But I definitely felt better 24 hours ago than I do now. This Joe Hart, by the way, says it's good. Maybe we need to give liver a shot. I won't, but
I won't either. Sorry.
I really felt promised, or I felt like tonight was really promising. But Rudy says it's disgusting. LOL, don't try it. We won't. Nick's 200. Is that 200, 700? Nick's 200 says, but hang on, what's the problem with Kelvin Joseph? He is definitely round one talent. I don't mind the Kelvin Joseph pick, but what weighs this down for me is the Osa pick over what was there and the Chauncey pick. The last two picks, I felt like the Cowboys have the first two picks, Micah Parsons and Kelvin Joseph. It really felt like the Cowboys took the best available player on their board. It's hard to rationalize that off of what they've done here in the third round. The third round has kind of sunk their battleship, I guess, so to speak. And so ultimately your first and second round picks are more important than your third round picks. But that being said, I mean, we're still sort of living in the moment, and those have just been opportunities where other values at more important positions to the team in its current structure was more necessary.
Yeah, Titans go linebacker Monty Rice. So it's so crazy. I mean, if this pans out, but we don't. You know what the problem is, and I know that we scream it all night long. What if these guys aren't even close to being at the top of the Cowboys draft boards? You know what I mean? Like what that would be. A, disappointing. B, like we think that we know a little something about something. You know what I mean? It kind of like puts our credibility down, considering the Cowboys are just all over certain players, and obviously this guy wasn't one of them on our board. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm excited to see now. You know, you get to sweat it out again because now it's coming up again, and and Bills go offensive line. So now you're at pick 94 as it climbs. You know what I mean? So it's, oh boy. The GOAT, the Hall of Famer Gil Brandt tweeted best remaining players. This is according to Gil Brandt, everybody with 5 picks left before the Cowboys make their next selection, their final selection of the evening, we believe. At the top, Fatu Melifonwu. So no big deal. Hall of Famer agrees with all of us here on the stream. So congratulations to everybody watching along and participating with us live. We are by proxy Hall of Famers. Ronnie Perkins, James Hudson, Deontay Brown, I wouldn't be mad about. Dan Moore, Elijah Molden. We've had a lot of people screaming about Elijah Molden tonight. That would not be, a bad direction for the team to go in. Let's see. I'm looking at practical picks. Nixon's still there. Davion Nixon. Spencer Brown, I don't think would be bad. Sean Wade, where's Matt? I know Matt's been screaming, what it is, but it is what it is. But all right, Sturch. Yeah. Before you leave, give us a prediction, just a positional prediction, what the Cowboys are going to do at 99. They're going to right the wrongs. They're going to go corner.
So corner's the pick.
The corner, the double dip of night 2. It will happen. We'll get another corner.
Billy Goats Gruff agrees with you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Dave Sturchio, you can listen to him on Mondays on the Jersey Boys podcast, on the Blog on the Boys podcast network. Search for it on Apple devices, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. He'll be there on Monday with the Ernstes, and they will have some takes, I imagine. Yes. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter at Dave Sturchio. Check out all the work he does at Chop Sports. Sturch, appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Go Cowboys.
All right. Remember to take my headphones off. No big deal. Proud of myself. So that felt like a very productive venting session, because I do think, again, the problem here is the positional value. Not even positional value with regards to taking a defensive end, or that's actually what it is. I don't know why I said that. But this one's harder to swallow, but we have a chance to redeem it. All right, this is a pitcher who has given up, who started the game off, up 2-0, got to the 5th inning, was pitching a no-hitter, first couple of hits, maybe not a no-hitter, but you get my point. The pitcher has allowed like 6 runs, and the offense is taking care of the pitcher, and it's okay. Things can be stabilized. We just have to get out of here alive. That's an aggressive way to put it, but this is still salvageable. There are still a lot of players that we like on the board, and the Baltimore Ravens pick is in on the television broadcast, so we'll see what they do. Jonathan Miller says the Ravens are going offensive line. If we could get a name here, anybody, thank you. I see it. Ben Cleveland. Funny, Baltimore taking a player named Cleveland. Anyway, but appreciate it, Jonathan, for getting us Baltimore's pick. Tampa Bay now on the clock. So what do you want to do? Sturch and I talked about it. There are, let's see, Kevin's just all optimistic. We're getting our guy at 99. I believe that. I'm choosing to believe that. We've been trying to manifest Melifonwu into existence for a while now. Glenn Ross has commented 3 times QB. No, thank you, Glenn Ross. So let's go. Michael Daniels, Ben Cleveland is a beast. Baltimore having yet another nice draft pick. How nice. But okay, let's let's discuss. What do we want? Give me a name. Give me a name if you're watching live with us. We appreciate all of you. Everyone who's watching live, you're a beautiful person, and we love you. We appreciate you. And this really, I know we're a little upset right now, but is this not the sickest thing that we get to all be here wherever we are in the world, sitting together, talking, venting, experiencing? This truly is the coolest thing. This is why we all stay up till 2 a.m. freaking out about stuff, because we all share this unbelievable passion for the Dallas Cowboys. And so just want to take a moment before we continue to say, I love you. And thank you for tuning in here. We really do appreciate it. This has been so much fun. Can't wait to continue doing it tomorrow. Now, that being said, actually, before we dive into who we want, because we still have some time, let's go ahead and take a listen to Osa's secret audio, courtesy of DallasCowboys.com.
Hello?
Osa, it's Will McClay with the Cowboys. I got somebody who wants to talk to you. Hold on.
Yep.
Osa, this is Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. We sure are proud. We're turning your card in, but we're proud that you're part of the team, man. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. You won't regret it, I promise you.
Well, you've really worked hard to get this spot, and everybody really in this room respects you for playing at this level to be drafted at this spot. But I'm going to hand you the phone to Coach Mike McCarthy, and he's a big man in your corner here, so I want you to talk to him.
Osa, congratulations.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, you having some fun? That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. Hey, man, God bless you. Enjoy this time with your family and friends, and really looking forward to getting you out here next week.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. God bless.
You guys won't regret it, I promise you.
Oh, I know that.
I'm going to get there and I'm going to work my ass off, Coach.
Very cool. Those never get old. Chris Allen says, rocking my 50 Sean Lee jersey tonight. Actually, it's a cool question. I can't believe we haven't asked this yet. Are you wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey? I can't believe we haven't asked this yet. But that was an awesome conversation. Again, whoever the player is, even if we're not fond of the positional value, it is never not a cool thing to hear somebody's dreams come true. JD Dillard on board. Ifeatu Melifonwu. Melifonwu. I wish we could start a chant ultimately. But okay, the Bucs pick is in. They have taken an offensive tackle here. So let's get caught up here. The Cowboys pick at 99 overall. And the last pick of record is the 95th overall pick. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers took Robert Hainsey, offensive tackle. Okay, cool. So we have 3 picks left before the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Things here in the 3rd round have not gone well. Oh, we got a lot of answers on the jerseys, by the way. SpongeBob, hey, wearing a 1992 Emmitt Smith jersey down in Bikini Bottom, right on. Damon says, rocking my Bob Lilly throwback. Okay, cool. So let's I don't even know if we should say like what do we want, but I'm going to say that nonetheless. Let's play it this way. What non-Melifonwu player do you want? Let's do that. What non-Melifonwu player do you want? Because Michael Daniels said feels like a Belichick pick. Have concerns. I agree. The New England Patriots pick is in, and whoa. I believe this is their comp pick, by the way, for Tom Brady. Nope, their pick it's in on the broadcast. No, that's not it. Let's see here. We're waiting on finding out what the there's no way. Dan, by the way, says rockin' Roger Staubach jersey. Molden is a great choice here. If it's not going to be Melifonwu, who is the Patriots pick? Because I know we're all worried. I know we're all freaking out. Nope, still not in. By the way, the Packers taking Amari Rodgers. This has been a really fun round for wide receivers, especially with Anthony Schwartz going to Cleveland. J.D. Dillard, Elijah Molden. That's it. If you're not going to take Melifonwu, do the right thing. Now is the time. Now, like, fine. You know, if you don't want to take the guy that we want, now is the time to double dip. And that's really what this needs to be. This needs to be a double dip And I just, you know, I really, really hope that this is it. Let's see here. We're checking on the status of the 95th overall pick. Checking. Still nothing. Where are you, 90? This round has been flying by, and we still don't know. Does anybody know? Does anybody? We've got a lot of people wanting Molden. Let's see. Jonathan Miller says Ronnie Perkins is a Patriot, according to what I see on Twitter. I'm checking myself. And is this correct? No, I still don't see it myself. I'm not doubting you, but just for the purposes of this conversation, does anybody else see this? Nope. By the way, Dan says, I'm fine with the double dip. Oh, Jonathan says, I think it was a joke. Sorry, no big deal. Dan says, I'm fine with the double dip as long as there's a corner. That's the thing. Like, now is the time to double dip at corner. And I don't know. The Patriots pick is in. We're waiting to see who it is. And still wondering. This pick has taken a while. I am stunned by this. It is Ronnie Perkins. The New England Patriots have taken Ronnie Perkins, which I think is a player some people would have been happier with than Chauncey Golston, but that's fine. Not to knock that. But Ronnie Perkins is a New England Patriot. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be on the clock very soon. We are going to take a 2-minute break. We're not going anywhere. Everybody stay right where you are. I will be right back. I have to get another root beer because I'm nervous that this is going to be a crazy pick. So give me 2 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Root beer's well stocked. We're all good. Nobody freak out. We now are with the 97th overall pick. Again, the New England Patriots have just taken Ronnie Perkins. Let's see here. That means the Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock. Lots of people, by the way, still noting what they're wearing. Okay, we've got Jonathan letting us know the Chargers have taken a tight end. Okay, so we are now, one pick away. The Denver Broncos are on the clock here. What are they going to do here? Let's double check, make sure all this is accurate and up to date. The last pick of the night coming up for the Dallas Cowboys here. All righty. So the Ronnie Perkins pick is official. Let's see. Ricardo says safety is of importance right now. I agree. Kay says, I still call them the San Diego Chargers. You and everybody else. Ronnie Perkins is in on the television broadcast. This has been a night. This has been a night where we've got here Dylan Moses, his name is being mentioned. Did he just go? I think Dylan Moses has maybe not. Anyway, okay, we've got Jonathan has really been our MVP here. The Broncos have gotten offensive lineman Quinn Meinerz, a difficult last name to pronounce, obviously. Let's make sure here. If Jonathan is right, Jonathan has not been wrong so far. Yep, that is the case. That is the case for the Denver Broncos, and the Chargers pick is in, which means we've got a situation now where the Dallas Cowboys, for the 5th time this draft, are now on the clock. All right, now's your chance. Last time to get predictions in, because the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Soon enough, they're going to have a new player. Are they going to double dip? That is the question that we're all waiting to answer. This is the moment. I mean, this is, if you had one shot, one opportunity, this really is it for the Dallas Cowboys if they're going to double dip, because all these players that have been falling are likely not going to fall to 115. So now is the chance. Let's see here. Molden is again, Michael Daniels shouting for all of us. Melifonwu, who are the Dallas Cowboys going to take with the 99th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft? Chris Allen says smells like O-line. Kevin says safety. Let's see. There we go. Damon says it'll be Melifonwu. I'd bet my winning lotto ticket on it. All right. Okay. Oh, this is a great comment from Raul Duke. This is your pass fail. This is it. Like this will really affect how we feel. I think all of us going into tomorrow. I really do. Zachary is a fan of Melifonwu because the third round has not gone well. I think we can all talk it's a pick that needs to be talked into, but we can all certainly understand Kelvin Joseph pick. A lot of people wanted obviously a safety. The Cowboys have not gotten a safety yet so far. I mean, maybe, but Melifonwu, Molden, these are fine options for the Dallas Cowboys right now. Let's see. If you see it, let us know. We've got, let's see here, looking for comments. Billy Goat says the Broncos can't crash. The Broncos have already chosen. They've taken an offensive lineman. We've got, do we have an update on the Cowboys selection? No, we do not. Still waiting. Who the Dallas Cowboys are taking with the 99th overall pick. If you agree, let us know. Let's see here. Kevin says super reach time. Alan says, please don't reach again. The last pick scarred us, I think all of us. So who is this going to be? Still looking. I'm looking everywhere for you guys. And we do not have a Dallas Cowboys pick yet. Nope. Waiting. Come on. You cannot let us down. I think Alex hit it on the head for all of us. I'm scared. I agree with you, Alex. I'm nervous. Scott says, I bet it's nobody being discussed. That's kind of how this has gone. If we're being honest, that's kind of how this has been a different sort of night for all of us. The Cowboys pick still searching. And no, nothing yet. I'm relying on you guys too. Oh, we've got Texas Sheepdogs as Rico gathers. That's fine. Greg says the Cowboys select the trainer from Oregon State. We have not been short on jokes this evening, which has been nice to see. But the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. This is, as of now, their final selection of the third round of the 2021 NFL draft. They had 3 picks in this draft. They had 4 picks tonight. And the only one that I think we all feel great about is Kelvin Joseph. The others require a bit more molding and optimism. Nothing yet. This is true. They're truly keeping us in we've got Michael suggesting an offensive tackle, Stone Forsythe. I would not hate that. The Cowboys have yet to address the offensive line. They do need an offensive tackle. I really thought, when we had Bobby Belt on earlier in the show, he predicted the Cowboys taking an offensive tackle. No, that's the 98th overall pick. And that has not happened. They have not taken a tackle. They have not taken a safety. All 4 of their picks so far have been on the defensive side of the ball. What will their 5th pick be, though? Twitter, give us the answer. We have been waiting so long to know this. It feels like forever. Nope, nothing yet. Man, they are really keeping us. Dan says, I could see it being a safety, the last defensive group not addressed yet. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. It would depend. I don't want to say anything until we know. We've learned to be patient, certainly tonight. Nope, nothing yet for the Cowboys. Goodness gracious, what is happening? Do I need to go get another root beer at this stage? Look, this is if the last hour has been any indication, we are not going to be thrilled. But we've got Christopher Summers says they say the pick is in. Still looking. It does seem like we have some chatter building up. I'm working to find. All right, everybody, it's time. And we're looking for it. The pick is in. With the 99th pick in the 2021 NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys have double dipped, and they have double dipped at the cornerback position, taking Nahshon Wright. So another corner, Raul Dukes, says, I'm out. All right. They double dipped. We did manifest this. Okay. All right. What are our thoughts? Quick thoughts. Let's go here. Quick thoughts. We want your honest initial reaction. Michael Daniels also, we've got a lot of who's. It feels this is like Whoville in The Grinch That Stole Christmas. Lots of who's. This is we're working. This is I do not understand what is happening here. I'm reading a tweet. Give me 1 second here, everybody. As this tweet will not make you feel great. A heads up. But a tweet from Mike Leslie from WFA in Dallas with the 99th pick. The Cowboys have selected Oregon State defensive back Nahshon Wright. He was, again, this is Mike Leslie's tweet. He was rated as a 7th round pick or an undrafted free agent by the Athletics, Dane Brugler. What? Okay. All right. It is hard to, but okay. Marlon's got a positive here. It's a corner. Like we're getting our guest on. We're coming. Everybody, give us 1 second. Getting BTB's Tony Catalina in here, sending him the invite. Tony's invite has been sent. Okay. It's a corner. That's the best thing I can say right now. That is really the best thing I can say. I don't have the ESPN broadcast on, but Alex letting us know that the ESPN broadcast is high on him. Michael Daniels says, I'm so befuddled. Jonathan, who's been great for us tonight, 23rd best corner available at the time. Wow. Hoo-wee. What I was saying, now Redbirds Junkie says the Cowboys draft room seems pretty happy about the pick. All smiles in the room. Yeah, I bet they're happy. Jonathan. The Tennessee Titans have selected Elijah Molden. Whoa. From Zach Wolchuk from 105.3 The Fan, reading this tweet. Nahshon Wright was a non-combine invite. Was not invited to the NFL Combine. Whoa. This is tough. I agree. So much for best available player, Aiden. I really, truly, it is like what I was saying a moment ago. It is difficult. I mean, like actually difficult to come up to draft somebody in general, let alone in within the top 100 picks that so many people have never even heard of. All right. Now, I don't mean to disparage the Oregon State, football program. But this one's tough. This one's difficult. This one's hard to understand. There's a comment that you guys can't hear me. If you can hear me, please let me know. If you can't, then I definitely want to fix this. But all signs look fine. Jeff Risden, who covers the NFL for Real GM, just tweeted, Nahshon Wright is the first player drafted that I did not study at all. The Cowboys took him with the 99th overall pick. Let's go ahead. Let's bring on Tony Catalina. That's Zachary, not a fan. Tony, your thoughts on Nahshon Wright? How are you feeling?
To be honest, as I look at it, I mean, he has a lot of traits. If you see the kid, he's listed at 6'4", 183. He's got good length, good size. For me, I thought there were some other corners on there that could have went the other way. I had my eye set on Ifeatu Melifonwu there. I thought that would have been a good value pick. But honestly, I don't hate it because this kid has a lot of different traits that you could work with.
Tony, I hate it. I'm sorry. And nothing against the kid. Golly. The Detroit Lions just took Melifonwu. The fact that, this is, whoa. The fact that you go ahead.
It's just, I mean, I hear your sentiment because me personally, I had the Cowboys mocked at taking Melifonwu at 44. So I kind of hear how you feel about that. And to see him go one pick later is kind of a tough pill to swallow.
I'm tweeting this right now. I started typing round 3 was not kind to the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm adding, or rather the Dallas Cowboys were not kind to the Dallas Cowboys in round 3. I mean, this was what happened. I really am absolutely stunned at what has happened here. This is a very, we're all having to do some research here on the fly. Seemingly a very unathletic player who the Dallas Cowboys just spent a top 100 pick on. I'm having trouble compartmentalizing this one. Again, and what makes this difficult is that Elijah Molden, and I'm double checking that Melifonwu went, that they went right after this. Scott said, I'm speechless. I really am. Here, for anybody who's curious, here's some information on Nahshon Wright. He's 6'4", he's 183 pounds, and we know that the Dallas Cowboys took him in the 3rd round.
He's also a brother of Rajon Wright from Last Chance U, so I think he was in the public's eye for a little while there. For the life of me, I can't understand passing on Elijah Molden or Melifonwu. I really, really, really cannot. As best as you can justify that. I mean, but like besides the idea that maybe Dan Quinn prefers him. That's literally it. That's literally the only thing that can be said is that Dan Quinn might like him. And that's all you can think of, right? Like, what does Dan Quinn have for, an idea for him? I mean, does he see as measurable as 6'4"? I mean, that's a long, lengthy corner. I mean, but like you said, there's other corners there. I mean, if Ifeatu Melifonwu was a long, rangy corner too as well that I projected as a great cover 3 corner in his scheme. So it is kind of a head scratcher to think like, okay, what would they see in this kid that they didn't see in the others?
And that's the thing, like, and it would be one thing if we were sitting here and Molden and Melifonwu were still falling, right? Like if we were sitting here in the 3rd round, still has a handful of picks left, but if they were still falling, if tonight ended and they were still on the board and we had all of tonight and all of tomorrow morning, by the way, Helmet letting us know it might be Nahshon. So thank you, Helmet. But if we ended tonight and they were both, or even one of them were still on the board, I think we could sit here and we could say, okay, something's wrong. So the whole league seems to see the same thing, have the same concerns, have the same red flags, have the same whatever. But they must. I don't know how they're not thrilled that the Cowboys did this. I really don't know.
I mean, you look at it like you said. I think we all came in today saying, "Look how many top 100 picks we have. There's a real chance here to really boost this team and take the right picks and kind of develop on the defensive side." And they did take a lot of defensive picks, but you're left with more questions than answers right now.
I don't even have an answer. The last answer I had ended in the 2nd round. And it was not a difficult answer or anything, but I mean that was the last time I felt like I had
a peg on the direction that this team was going in. And I did not understand the Chauncey Golston pick from the perspective of devoting, so now they have taken both Chauncey Golston and Nahshon Wright over Molden and Melifonwu. This is their class. And I mean, on this day a year ago, we felt incredible. We felt alive. The hills were alive with the sound of music. And this third round has been costly, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean Alan Phillips said this right here. I kind of agree with this comment. The Cowboys had 3 third-round picks and didn't walk away with a player that we feel even remotely good about. I mean, that's not fair. But if you have picks 74, 84, 99, the second of which you received last night, you should feel incredible right now. You should be moonwalking right now instead of feeling like distraught, like Scott just said.
I mean, honestly, like you said, you missed out on Melifonwu, and, kind of backtrack a little bit on the Chauncey Golston pick is, you see the Patriots take Ronnie Perkins. I mean, I feel like a lot of people felt like Ronnie Perkins would have been a solid pick for us. And to see him go to mid 90s, 96, whatever it was, and then to miss on Melifonwu and to miss on Molden, you're kind of just sitting here like, man, I hope Dan Quinn and the boys really have a plan here, because I don't know what it is.
I mean, there is clearly a heavy devotion to Dan Quinn, and much was made about him heading to Oregon for a particular pro day. Apparently, this story was not told. J.D. Dillard with a great point. Even if Dan Quinn is this high on him, I mean, why now? Like, what?
Right.
Why now? You know what I mean? Like the sale on TVs was starting tomorrow, and you ran out, at 11:58 to buy it when you could have waited 2 more minutes.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you look at most of his draft profiles, I think most people have a consensus of 6th to 7th round pick. I mean, they took this kid within the first 100 picks. It's a head scratcher.
If you had to put the third round into words from beginning to end, because it felt like just a down trajectory ride. What did the third round specifically feel like to you?
To put it in one word for me, it was puzzling. It's I looked at it, and you take it for what it is. It's okay. The run was an issue last year. Fine. Okay, you want to address that. And then you kind of just look at who they got and how it fell. It kind of like, wait, this, these are guys that you probably could have gotten in the 4th, 5th round. I mean, in this case, maybe in the 6th or the 7th round. It's just like there had to have been better value here. There just had to have been.
I don't honestly, and I'm not trying to rehash the Micah Parsons pick, but there is not a pick, and I'll put this back up here again one more time. Sorry. There is, and if you are watching and you just actually, I'll just ask the question because my answer is none. What pick here is great value? If you have to pick one, maybe you have 2, but what, if any pick, is great value? And we're talking overall in the grand scheme of all things considered value, positional value, pick value, slot value, the trade, that the Cowboys acquired, the 84th overall pick win value. I mean, what is the value pick here? Which one?
I mean, it's tough to say, but if you're splitting hairs here, you say without the red flags, you think Kelvin Joseph is a first-round talent. I mean, but you're banking on that, the red flags don't pop up and, there's maturity issues there. But you look at your first 2 picks and they both have maturity issues and they both have red flags. And it's like, okay, you trade back, you get an 84th pick. Now it's important. What do you do with it? And you can see now we took Chauncey Golston with it. So I think I felt a lot better about slide back to getting an extra pick from Micah Parsons. I think I felt better about that last night than I do right at the moment.
Clinton Jones said Parsons is an A, and it's particularly an A if he truly was the best, available player, the top-rated defensive player on the Cowboys board at the time. Obviously, only they know that. However, it's still a linebacker in the top 12, which inherently is not great positional value. And it was in the sense that the Cowboys got the player that they wanted at 10, at 12, and got the 84th overall pick as a result. But then they burned it on Chauncey Golston. And again, no disrespect to Chauncey specifically, but the positional value with regards to the overall roster composition of the Cowboys at the moment is difficult to understand in a lot of different ways. And then you had a chance, and we had a comment, right before you jumped on, Tony, that was, this is the pass fail, pick for the Cowboys. That we literally we decided on this as a group, that this was it. Like, this was the chance to either, like, save this project because you had seen this talent fall, or just keep the party going. I mean, I want to ask you this question. Matt Davis said, time to move on from Will McClay. What part of the blame do you place on him? What level of onus do you put on Will McClay's shoulders? So, because people are going to flock to Dan Quinn, people are going to flock to Mike McCarthy, people are going to flock to Jerry Jones, but Will McClay has his hand in this just as much.
For me, it's, we've always, through the years, Will McClay's done such a great job, and that's kind of just how the perception has been. But is the perception really the reality? If you look at some of the picks, there's been some head scratches over the years. There's been some misses, and you got to put some blame on Will McClay. You can't just say, okay, Dan Quinn's here, let's get Dan Quinn's guys. And there is some of that, thumbprint on this defense and the way they're moving forward. But you got to put kind of the blame on everyone here. You got to look at the scouts, you got to look at the evaluators as a whole, and you say, where are you seeing these values? Where is this coming together in the point where this makes sense, and how are you valuing these players? And it's all a head scratcher to me, honestly.
Let's go with, if you're watching us, give us a percent, 1 to 100. What percent of blame do you place on Will McClay? I'm going to say 60. Actually, no. If I'm divvying it up, if by default 25 goes to McCarthy, 25 goes to the Joneses, 25 goes to Dan Quinn with regards to this particular draft, since it's so heavy defensively, and 25 goes to McClay, I'm willing to bump McClay's to like 35. And Matt Davis is at 75. Sam G kind of starting off 25%. But I think it's heavier than usual. See, like Frederick says, I'm going to say none. Like, I don't think we can let him, get off scot-free here. Let's see here. We've got a lot of varying. Joe says 90. Let's see here. We've got Jameer says, I hate this team. Christopher says 80%. Rashad, well, we got Clint says 30. Rashad says 4.49. Oh, that he ran a 4.49, right? Ran a 4.49. So what's your answer, Tony?
I think you're right on the button there. I think you got to give him a bigger slice of the pie when it comes to the issue. They dubbed his draft. I know Jerry and Steven get the last say, or whatever the case may be, but Will is their confidant, and he's right there, and he's making these choices with them. He's got to take a bigger slice of the pie than I would think. Then basically, you can't just say Dan Quinn's here, he's new, and blame it on him. He's got to take and get a look in the mirror himself.
Yeah, I think to that point, it's hard to place, and like this is a whole different thing, but it's hard to place even the majority of blame on Dan Quinn, in that it's his first year here, still not a traditional offseason, still not an opportunity to properly get to know these players. And so he is new at all this. So if you do place blame on Dan Quinn, I think that blame residually falls on either McCarthy or Will McClay, that they let the new kid in town kind of run all the shots when they killed the draft last year. I'm not at all trying to say or intimate that Dan Quinn is a bad defensive coordinator for this team, but maybe he's not the person to evaluate the talent and to be the lead orchestrator that you're spending all of your draft picks on.
Agreed. I mean, like you said, there have been some solid picks and there have been some good drafts, and Will McClay earned a reputation for himself to come through and make good picks for this team. And it's just kind of looking at a head scratcher this year. There may be something in when it comes to the medicals are coming in late, and it's tough to evaluate kids, and there's some opto players and people that only played a handful of games. So, everybody's dealing with that though. And I think everybody's had the same challenges that the Cowboys have. And, you look at some of these drafts, some people are, it just seems like they're putting together a better class than us at the moment.
So let's power rank here. To end the night with you, Tony, before we fully get off here, let's throw the class up here one more time. From, if you had to rank 1 to 5, best picks made by the Dallas Cowboys. So I know somebody's going to be like, there's not a single one that's first place. But if you're literally going from best to worst or least bad to worst, how do you rank them?
I mean, just to get the easy one out, I think Nahshon Wright for me is it's the fifth. It's the worst for me personally. I mean, I think that's an easy one. Now, if you see what they say and what they have plans for Micah Parsons, and they're going to be a designated pass rusher, I kind of like him more than, like you said, off the ball linebacker, somebody who's only a 2-down guy. If you have plans to play him at, Mike, and then have him rush the passer and passing downs, I like that. So I think I'd put him at 1, Kelvin at 2. I hear some good things about Chauncey, but like you said, at the pick and where they got him, the value isn't great. But I'd probably put him at 3 with Osa at 4 and Nahshon at 5. And that kind of be round up my top 5.
Raul Duke, I like this take, says 1, 2, 9, 10, 11. I think just ranking like where they'll finish in the overall class. And honestly, I think that's really possible. Based on tomorrow's action. The Cowboys obviously have 6 picks tomorrow as of now. We'll see how that ultimately, shakes out. Frederick says 1 Parsons, 2 Joseph, 3 Golston, 4 Wright. Wow, really down on Osa. It is what it is. Tony, we appreciate you jumping on with us. This was an interesting moment to come in and hang out, but you guys can read Tony's work over at bloggingtheboys.com. He does a great job for us. TC, have yourself a great night. We'll talk to you soon enough, man.
You as well. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. All right. This is closing time. All right. And we're going to be here tomorrow. All right. So we're about to say goodbye, you and me, for the night. Let's all, we'll get that. We'll get off. We'll take a deep breath. Maybe, now's the time. If you're a late night snacker, you want that bowl of ice cream, you want that big bowl of cereal, this is it. This is the emergency situation. Whatever the snack is that you've been holding off, this is the night. Go get it as soon as we're done. So we'll be here tomorrow. This was a weird night. But I want to go back to what I said, because I know that morale is low. At the end of the day, and this has nothing to do with the football at all, but at the end of the day, I like what Chris just said. There's always tomorrow. I like the idea of perpetual hope. At the end of the day, we all get to experience this together. And that is a very cool thing. That being said, we're all kind of down in the dumps right now. I'm very interested to see what the Dallas Cowboys say in their post-draft press conference, how they rationalize these picks, how they try to sell these picks, how they try to, tell us that these were the right picks. I can promise you, we've got, let's see, what was this? Jesse says, come on, man, cheer me up. I can promise you, we're going to get to work at bloggingtheboys.com. We're going to have so much stuff available to you at the site, dissecting these picks. We're going to have some podcasts available to you. We're going to have more videos here on the YouTube channel. It's going to be, tomorrow's our day. Tomorrow, it's May 1st. All right. The In Sync memes. It's going to be May. I mean, tomorrow is our day. So everybody, tomorrow morning, we will have a recap of the entire second and third round with a specific emphasis on what happened with the Dallas Cowboys. So please make sure that you subscribe to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. That will be out probably about lunchtime-ish, a little bit before lunchtime. We'll have some guests from BTB as well, and then we'll be back, obviously, to do this all again when it is all going to get better. Tomorrow is going to be better, all right, because it really can't be worse. So at least we have that working in our favor. So last things as we sign off, Micah Parsons still the best player the Cowboys have drafted. That's still a good thing. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So make sure to subscribe to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. I'm RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. We will be posting this audio as a podcast if you want to check it out that way. I know some people like to listen to it, maybe on the go, on the run, maybe you're walking the dog or something like that. But yeah, so this was fun, and I really do mean it. It is the coolest thing in the world to me that we all get to be here and talk about the Dallas Cowboys together, even though that we're upset that we get to experience this stuff together. That is such a cool thing, and I don't want any of us to lose sight of that. So let's come back tomorrow. Let's be energized. Let's make sure it's a good time. But this was a lot of fun, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to our round 2 and round 3 coverage here at Blogging the Boys. We will see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. We love you all.